Well, good morning. It is the fourth day of Sukkot, halfway point. And this is Daniel John Lee with Torah Restoration Ministries, and the website is www.spiritandtorah.com. I just want to give you a bit of a panoramic view of where I am here. It's just so beautiful. Just going to slowly pan. Try not to be too shaky about it. In a cathedral of pine and greenery here. Ginormous tree right there. And just a beautiful setting on this fourth day of Sukkot. I don't know if you can hear the bubbling of the creek just beyond where I am, but it's very soothing as always. Well, shalom. It is the midst of the feast. If you read in, I believe it's John chapter 7, might be John 8, I think it's John 7. Excuse me while I try to get my footing here. It says that Yahshua, he went up to Jerusalem during the midst of the feast, and there he taught in the temple. Can you imagine that? There was actually a time on earth where a temple stood in the heart of Jerusalem, and the King of all kings, who at that point was only known as a carpenter from Nazareth, he actually taught in the temple. That will happen again, only this time he won't just be a teacher. He'll be the king, and recognized as the king across the entire earth. Well, I thought it was appropriate, since it is the midst of the feast, halfway point, that I would do a little teaching as well. I'm not in a temple, but I do want to emulate my Messiah, as we all should, being believers and part of the body of Messiah. And so I'm going to do a little teaching here. Before I get into that, I want to share another prophetic picture that I woke up to this morning. Last night, again, there were just these very powerful winds blowing back and forth. Made me picture in my mind spiritual warfare, like angels fighting back and forth. Anyway, when I woke up this morning and went down trail a little ways, just saw all these broken trees and branches all over the roads and the grass and the different fields. And I thought, wow, I am so thankful that nothing hit my sukkah. And my car was untouched, and my sukkah was untouched, and it was just a neat little picture of how Yahweh protects us when we're in His will, no matter what's going on around us. Hallelujah. So the teaching is going to be from Leviticus, chapter 8 and 9. Now, I have never seen this before. I just discovered this yesterday, and maybe you guys have seen it before. I don't know, but I want to share with you. In Leviticus 8, starting in verse 31, it says, "And Moshe said unto Aaron and to his sons, Boil the flesh at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and there eat it with the bread that is in the basket of consecration, as I commanded, saying, Aaron and his sons shall eat it. And that which remaineth of the flesh and of the bread shall you burn with fire. And you shall not go out of the door of the tabernacle of the congregation for 7 days, until the days of your consecration be at an end. For 7 days shall he consecrate you. As he hath done this day, so Yahweh hath commanded to do, to make an atonement for you. Therefore shall ye abide at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation day and night 7 days, and keep the charge of Yahweh, that you die not, for so I am commanded." So Aaron and his sons did all the things which Yahweh commanded by the hand of Moshe. So keep in mind those 7 days, and then if you keep reading in Leviticus chapter 9, "And it came to pass on the 8th day that Moshe called Aaron and his sons and the elders of Israel. And he said unto Aaron, Take you a young calf for a sin offering, and a ram for a burnt offering without blemish, and offer them before Yahweh. And unto the children of Israel you shall speak, saying, Take you a kid of the goats for a sin offering, and a calf and a lamb, both of the first year without blemish, for a burnt offering. Also a bullock and a ram for peace offerings to sacrifice before Yahweh, and a meat offering mingled with oil, for today Yahweh will appear unto you. Yahweh will appear unto them on the 8th day. Now, I know this passage doesn't directly refer to the Feast of Tabernacles. However, it's interesting that it mentions the tabernacle of congregation. It mentions that they're to be inside the tabernacle, inside the sukkah, for 7 days while they're consecrated. And then on the 8th day, they emerge from that tabernacle of congregation, and Yahweh appears unto them. Wow. Now, if that's not a picture of the Feast of Sukkot, I don't know what is. That's right there in Torah. 7 days we dwell in booths, as Leviticus 23 says. We dwell in sukkahs and tents. And on the 8th day, the last great day, well, again, we'll get to that on the 8th day. Anyway, it was just a little something that I saw last night as I was reading through the scriptures and praying and meditating. It's amazing how much Yahweh will show you when you just kind of get away from the clamor of the world and you spend this special time with Him. I think that's one of the main reasons for these feasts. We have the Feast of Passover and Unleavened Bread in the early spring, and then, of course, Pentecost in the late spring, and then Tabernacles here in the fall. These times of revival certainly keep us pure and holy and revived, and keep us in tune with Him. Hallelujah. Well, Yahweh bless. Shalom. Enjoy the last half now of the Feast of Sukkot that we're entering, and I'll see you as the week continues to unfold. Yah bless. Check out the website at www.spiritandtorah.com. Shalom.